Hello everyone, I'm Matt Little, and today we are going to go over the fundamentals of the draw with the Taurus 1911. So let's talk about some of the important points of the draw first. We're going to go over it slow, and then I'll show you guys some live fire as well. So one thing that I'm a big believer in when it comes to technique is physical reference points to inform my technique, right? And there's several examples of that in the draw. The first one is I like to put the inside of my elbow on the same point on the mag well of the pistol every time I start the draw from outside the waistband with my arms at sides. Obviously, if my hands are in a different position, I have to have a different physical reference point, same as if I'm drawing from concealment appendix. But for this draw, that is the reference point I like. Another one people use a lot is the bottom of the holster. I find better results with this, but either one is fine. It kind of is up to you. Now, the second physical reference point in the draw is the web of my hand crushing onto the bottom of the beaver tail to ensure that my hand is high enough up on the back strap of the gun so that when I draw the pistol, I have a nice high grip close to the bore axis of the pistol. So from here to here, I want to feel like I'm snatching my hands off a hot stove. So I want this to be very, very fast going from here to here, because that's going to set the pace for the rest of the draw. Now, I am going to demo this slow a few times, obviously, so you see it, but I want you to have that feeling when you go full speed. The other thing that's a good coaching cue for me that ensures a fast draw is I actually think more about the speed of my support hand on this movement here. However, that may not be the correct coaching cue for you. Your mileage may vary, so you need to play around with different things and see what works best for you mentally to ensure that your technique is sound. I bring this hand just somewhere in the middle of my torso. There's no need to have it up here like it's ready to accept the gun, like some tactical shooters do. There's no reason to do the, tactical tummy slap, right? None of that stuff is necessary. Just let it float somewhere around the belt line. What happens then is once I have established this grip with this hand, I'm going to snatch the pistol out of the holster. It's almost like I'm bouncing it out of the holster. Once I do that, I'm going to bring the gun up in a straight line to my eye line. While the gun comes up to my eye line, once the muzzle has passed this hand, and it's safe to do so, I'm going to bring this hand to the gun. When I do that, I'm going to use the third physical reference point I use for the draw. And the way to build this is actually in reverse. So if I'm up on target and aimed on target, and I want to put the pistol in the holster, watch what my hand does. That's the path I want on the way out, right? So once the gun clears the hand, I can put that physical reference point on the bottom of the trigger guard. Now, if you have an external safety, like the 1911 does, when is it okay to take it off of safe? My rule of thumb on this is that once I'm past this hand and there's no danger of flagging myself, it's okay to take the gun off of safe. It is not yet okay to put the finger on the trigger. So now the gun is off of safe, and I'm driving the gun in a straight line up to my eye line and on target. Now here's the second question. If I've already made a conscious decision to fire, if I'm already going to engage that target and there's no question of that, when is it okay for me to put my finger on the trigger? My rule of thumb for that is that as long as I can see the target and see the gun, I don't yet have to be on my sights, but if I can see the target in the gun and I know there's nothing else around the target or in the target surroundings or in this background that I need to worry about an errant shot hitting, then it is okay to go ahead and start prepping the trigger if I understand my trigger well enough. If I have not yet made a conscious decision to fire, I'm going to come up and still have the finger alongside the frame, right? But if I have made a conscious decision to fire, I can put the finger on the trigger here so that when it comes up into my eye line, I can break the shot immediately once I'm on target with the sights. So that's something you have to really work hard on in your own training to make sure that it's both safe and effective. But never, never should you put your finger on the trigger if you can't see the gun and the target and be aware of its surroundings, right? That's a solid, solid rule for sure. So the full motion in slow motion looks like this. And it's, like I said, it's the exact reverse of putting it back in the holster. So I'll do a couple dry fire reps. First one nice and slow. bit quicker. And approaching full speed. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and go hot with the pistol. We're going to do it live with the same process. I'm going to start out slow and deliberate, and then I'm going to go a little bit faster and show you more like how it would be done in actual application. All right, first one, nice and slow and deliberate. A little bit faster. And now we'll go nice and fast. So that's a quick, short lesson on the fundamentals of the draw. You want to make sure that you're as efficient as possible, no wasted movement. You want to make sure that you can see the sights and have a good index immediately. And you want to make sure you're very safe with the trigger finger and with the manual safety if you have one. Hopefully you got some value out of this. Hope you all enjoyed it. And I'd like to see you all on the range soon.